Hi, folks. So sometimes my brilliance isn't. And this is one of those cases when I thought that I was being smart by the way I did this, because what I was going to do, um, for you fans of kind of how this stuff works, is I was planning on saying, okay, let's turn everything off all the way from, well, we could just say, I think I can do that from the beginning, but just check from the beginning. I have to choose, whoops, I have to choose from the very first thing that we did all the way down to the very last thing that we did, choose all of them, and then only pick like the front. We're gonna hide all of those, which makes it so that there's nothing because, uh-oh, my computer's being slow. There we go, and everything's gone now, and then turn on my front wall and turn on the exterior wall like so. Whoops, turn on the exterior wall. And then I can brilliantly cut out all of those things, but then the problem is when I go to edit something in context and say, oh, let's take this part and edit in context, then it still brings back the rest of the house, which now I can't see what I need to see, and I can't turn things on and off. So that's a problem. There might be a solution to this, but I haven't found it yet, including in my Google searches. So yeah, so I'm gonna show all instances, bring it back. So I've thought of a different way of doing this, which may or may not be the best way, but we're gonna do it that way anyway. So I have built the front and the back wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and come here and kind of zoom in and click on this wall right here. Now what should happen is that it will show up in my browser. Okay, make sure that you have the right part picked, and we're going to right click on that, and somewhere on there it should say, have a little icon, switch to Part Studio 9. And that way I know which one that is. And it looks like there's a sketch still on for me that I'll turn off. So I know that this is the front and this is the back, or you can hover over that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an assembly. Then I'm going to cut out some things. Then we're going to put that assembly back. So while I'm here, and you do this too, let's rename this Part Studio as front and back exterior walls. Okay, so that I know what I'm looking for. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a new assembly because I'm not sure how else to do this. So I'm going to bring in an assembly. All right. So we're going to insert what we just did. We need a Part Studio front and back extension walls. That's what I want. Okay. Now I need to make sure I know which is which, although they are symmetrical. So it's okay if I go this way instead of that way. So it's going to work out. And now what I'm going to do is I put in that assembly. Let's group those together so that I don't accidentally move them around. So I'm going to group together the back wall and the front wall and say, okay, they're grouped. That way they're staying that exact same distance apart. We're going to insert, and we're going to insert the front wall. Now that is an assembly, and I'm going to scroll until I find my front wall. Garage back wall, girl closets, I've got bedrooms, I've got back walls. Uh-oh. I'm not sure where my front wall is. There it is. Knew I had it. I'm going to need my front wall. And I'm going to need my back wall. Now, because this, whoops, should have hit the green check mark. Because these are all different parts, I'm going to group together my front wall. Good. Okay. Now, I got to look at it and make sure I put it the right way. Yeah, I'm going to flip this around. It's a little tricky to look at. I'm going to flip it up 90 degrees so that I know which way, because I want to put it onto the side opposite of the siding. Okay. Now, I have to assemble this. So I know that because the front wall and the back wall are they're butt walls. They're sandwiched in between the other ones. And that siding sticks out 3/4 of an inch beyond it. So I've got a space on each side of 3/4 or 3.5 plus 3/4. So a total of 4 1/4 inches. So I'm going to assemble this from the top. So watch this carefully about how I'm going to do this. I'm going to fasten this top corner right here facing upward to this corner here facing upward, but I'm going to offset it along the X. Now again, your direction might be different. 4.25 inches. Okay. That should be good. And I should have 4.25 on the other side too. I'll measure it just to make sure. Let's get out of that fasten mate so my measure tool shows up. I'm going to make sure that my distance from that point to that point is also 4 1/4, and it is. Good. All right, now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And we're going to insert the back wall assemblies. Insert the back wall. It again is going to come in all weird. Okay. Don't forget to group. Oh, that is hard to look at. Okay. Group the back wall. Good. And make sure that you're right side up. You might have to kind of move things around to look at, make sure you know which way you're going. Sometimes this stuff gets to be like an optical illusion. All right, we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to do our fasten mate and do that right there. Did I do the right spot? Yes. 2. That. And again, I've got an offset of 4 1/2 inches. Happens to be along the X again. Or four, not 4 1/2, sorry, 4 1/4, 4.25. All right. And we are good. Now, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to do a little testing here to see if I can do this the right way. Now, just like we do in the house, we have to edit this in context, okay? So I'm going to right click, edit in context. Okay, now there is only one context right now because we're in one assembly. And I am going to, now this might be a little bit tricky. I'm going to have to hide some things. I'm going to have to hide the back wall. Now that's going to leave, oops, that is not what I meant to do. I meant to hide the front wall. Okay. Now, I don't know why it didn't leave. That is really interesting. So you might have the problem where it's leaving that front wall showing, or actually it's kind of showing everything, but it's still hiding stuff. So this is going to be a little tricky. You're going to have to make sure that you are, we're using and projecting some parts of this. Okay. So I'm going to have to do a sketch here. So I'm going to sketch on this flat surface. All right. Now, again, we're going to have to flip around. It's going to be a little bit tricky here to get these points. So I'm going to use, and I'm going to put in 2 points for every rectangle. Now you're going to have to zoom around and look at them. So I'm looking at this one window. I need that point right there. And see, this is where it gets tricky. I think I'm going to do the bottom ones first, and then I'll flip up, zoom in and zoom out. So I need that one, I need that one, I need that one. I accidentally did the line too, but that's okay. And I need that one. Now we're going to flip upward, so I'm looking upward, and we're going to do the top. Opposite, that one, that one, that one, and that one. All right, so now we've got our, oops, I didn't do that last one, and that one. And now I'm ready to draw my rectangles. So I'm going to use the rectangle tool, go from one point to the other point. Go from, oh, I never got that one at the bottom. I'm going to have to use this point down here for the door. Oops, use. Click. Now make more rectangles. That point to that point. To that point. That point to that point. And that point to that point. All right, so now I've got my shapes. Good. And we are going to extrude those shapes, but we're going to remove them. And an inch will be fine because that ensures that we're going through the 3/4 inch space. Good. All right. Now, follow that same method that we just did for the other wall. So we're going to go to the assembly. Now we're going to go to this part, edit in context. Now there's a context 2 that has shown up because we created context 1 with the other one. So we're going to use context 2. Okay. And we're going to do that same thing that we just did. You probably can speed up through this video, but I'm going to show what I did again. So I'll do bottom left corner first. Use, whoops, I'm not sketching yet. Click, new sketch. There we go. Not sure why it turned purple. That's weird. I'm going to try it anyway and see what happens. All right, so I did that part. Now we're going to do the upper parts. It might be context 2 because there are 2 separate parts that are not touching each other. All right, so now we can draw our rectangles. And again, I've not dealt with this purple thing before, so I'm a little nervous about that. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but we will see what happens. And if there's a problem, we'll fix it. All right, finish sketch. Should be able to extrude now. Whoops. Lights went off in this room because it's motion sensitive. All right, extrude. We're gonna cut, remove. We're gonna go an inch. I don't like that it turns red. I think what I need to do is I need to make sure that my merge scope is with see, now it's calling the back wall that and the front wall that. Well, that's bizarre. I don't know why it's doing that. You might have the same issue too, but good. And had a problem. Go to assembly. Well, when I hit go to assembly, it worked out okay. If you're having issues with this and it didn't work out that way, send me an email. I'll try and fix it. I'll see what happens. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off, I'm going to hide the front wall and I'm going to hide the back wall. They're still there, but now I have my back and front with the windows cut out. All right. So I want to save this assembly as what I already called the part studio. So we're going to rename the assembly front and back exterior walls. Now, these probably won't be updated in the assembly, or in the part studio. But if they are, we will use them. So let's hit. Let's see what happens with that. Go back to the front and back exterior walls and see now it's not even showing that. But if I turn that on, oh, it does put those in there. Okay, that's very strange. I didn't know that that would work that way. But now we can put in either one. I would rather put in this, the part studio into our house. So here we go. We're going to go to our house. Now, because, oh my goodness, look at that. It updated it. Oh, except it put the front wall on the back and the back wall on the front. I don't know why that happened that way. So I did mix it up. Now, if you did it, you might have had it work out. And if it worked out for you where it, they must have changed this in Onshape recently because normally those don't get updated when you fix them. So, oh, but because it's a part studio, it does do that. However, I did it backwards. If you did it the right way and you don't have studs showing up and your small doors on the front, then you're done. You can take a picture of this and you're all good. However, if you're like me where it messed up and I did it backwards, then what we need to do is we need to find this back wall and front wall and we're going to delete them. Just trust me, we're going to put them back in as one piece. So we're going to delete that and we're going to delete that. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring that in as an assembly because I can put it all in as one part rather than two parts at one time. So I'm going to insert an assembly. I'm going to find that, scroll till I find my front and back exterior walls. There they are. Okay, and it'll bring it in as one part. Cool. Don't forget to group them. So as I put them in, I'm going to group. Scroll up until I find the front and back walls that I just put in. Good. Now they will stay that same part. Now I have to kind of find, this is the front I'm going to flip it. Whoops, that is not the way I wanted to flip it. Hold on, I'm going to undo that. Let's try that again. I need to know which way I'm doing this. So I think I'll go this way first. No, it's not the way I wanted to go. Let's look at this. Sometimes it gets tricky to look at it. There we go. That's the one I wanted. I wanted to go this way. Except now I'm down. Nope, I wanted to go this way. There we go. It's a little tricky. Gotta know which way we're doing this. And then I want to go this way. There we go. Now I'm the right way. It's a little tricky, guys. I need to get it to the right. There we go. All right, now I already have this little guy showing up that's gonna be a make connector that I can use. So now that I know I'm going the right way, I'm gonna go ahead and do my fasten mate. I'm gonna choose that make connector that's already there. If it's not on, you can just use the lower corner of your siding down there. And then I will do the inside lower corner. Zoom, 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 zoom. That one there. And I should be good. That's funny that it moved this out, but once I hit the check mark, it should. Oh my goodness. It moved everything. Okay, I don't know what happened with that. So I'm gonna undo that. Boy, that was wild. Maybe I shouldn't use this connector. I'm gonna use just, in fact, now that I know that'll happen, that happened to you, I'm gonna turn that connector off. Let's try this again. Fasten mate. Sometimes there's no explaining why some of this stuff happens. Choose that bottom corner right there. That bottom corner right there. Did it again, but once I hit check, I should be good. No, that's bizarro. I don't know why that's happening, because it shouldn't be. Okay. I'm going to find a different way of doing this. All right. Let's get out of that, undo. Okay, we're learning. All right, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to find this piece right here. It's this. Let's find what part that is. Whatever part one is that I made, because I never named it. So as long as I know that I'm clicking on that part, I'm going to right click and I'm going to fix it. There, that part is now not going to move on me. I'm not sure why it was moving before. It shouldn't have, but it was. And now I should be able to get that. So let's try this again. Fasten. Click there. Zoom, 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 zoom. Click there. Looks like it moved to it. Don't forget if things disappear and you have no idea where they are, you just click on this little thing and say zoom to fit and it will bring it all back. And check, and let's see if we have, hooray, doors and windows. I don't know how you guys feel about this project, but I'm kind of enjoying it. I think it's pretty cool that this thing has all come together, you know, and we're really building a house. So get to where you can kind of see that, in fact, tilt it. So see how you can see through this window that there's an opening back there too? Get to where at least one of those openings is visible, something like that. Okay, and take an image of that And next time we'll put in all the windows and a few little pieces of trim and get the exterior finished. All right, folks, see you next time.